Okay, picture this. It's a perfect Christmas Eve. The whole house smells like garlic and pine. You can hear the family laughing, candles are glowing. It's idyllic. Now, what if I told you that entire beautiful scene was a lie? A fragile one, about to be shattered by just one sentence. Today, we're going to look at how that one sentence unraveled absolutely everything.
And there it is. That's the hook. Right in the middle of this perfect family moment, a quiet whisper from a husband, who happens to be a forensic investigator, kicks off a chain of events that will unravel a secret that's been held for over a decade. So let's start there, with that first whisper of doubt at the dinner table. This is where the story everyone thought they knew begins to fall apart, and it all starts with the family's hero. Yeah, this really sets the scene, doesn't it? The brother isn't just a part of the family. He's the son they all revolve around. The golden one, right? The international doctor doing humanitarian work. The pride his parents have for him is, as the author puts it, bottomless. His stories are the highlight of the entire holiday.
And here is the central conflict in a nutshell. While the rest of the family is hearing these incredible, inspiring stories, the husband is hearing mistakes. See, because of his job, he knows how large NGOs are supposed to operate, and the details the brother gives about supply chains and logistics, they just don't make any sense. It's not like he's forgetting a minor detail, it's a huge operational flaw. And then, when the brother deflects questions, the family thinks, oh, he's so humble. But the husband, he sees a classic diversion tactic.
So let's fast forward to the next morning. After a really long, sleepless night, the narrator agrees with her husband. They decide to look into it, and the plan is, if he's wrong, nobody ever has to know they checked. But if he's right, well, it's better to find out quietly. And that leads them to the paper trail.
And that's really the key question, isn't it? How do you investigate somebody you love without setting off a bomb in the middle of your family? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is in public records. It's information that's already out there, just waiting for someone to connect the dots.
You can just imagine the emotional roller coaster here. They start digging, and at first, there's this wave of relief. The med school records confirm he attended. Okay, phew. But then, the red flags start popping up. An inactive medical license? That's odd. And then the real kicker. His name is completely missing from his supposed employer's public staff directory. I mean, totally gone. That's not just a problem, that's a huge, glaring hole in the story.
With all this conflicting digital evidence, the narrator realizes she needs to talk to a real person. She finds the number for her brother's old roommate, Patrick. She sits in her car right in her parents' driveway and makes the call that she knows is going to change everything. She just asks one simple question.
And there it is, the truth. And it's just devastating. Patrick explains that he didn't even flunk out, he just disappeared. One day he was there, and the next, he just stopped showing up to class. By the time the school officially processed his withdrawal, he was long gone. The entire foundation of his family's identity, of their pride, was built on something that never actually happened.
So now we know what happened, but the story pivots here to a much harder question. Why? Before we even get to the confrontation, we get a little insight into what could possibly motivate someone to keep up a lie this big for this long. Just take a second and let that number sink in. 12. 12 years. Every single Christmas, every birthday, every phone call home, it was all part of this incredibly detailed act. This wasn't just a lie. This was a second life he had to maintain for the people he loved most. And this quote from the brother's confession later on really gets to the heart of it. The lie didn't come from a place of malice. It came from a place of overwhelming, crushing shame. His father had made this incredible sacrifice for him, and in the brother's mind, he had failed him completely. That feeling of failure was so enormous that building an entire fake life seemed easier than just facing the truth. Okay, so this brings us to the moment of truth, the climax of the entire story. It's the morning after Christmas. The family is all together at the breakfast table, and they have no idea their whole world is about to change. You can just feel the tension in that sentence, can't you? He knows if he gets interrupted, he might lose his nerve and never finish. He's begging them for the space to finally tell the whole story from the very beginning. His parents can tell something is deeply wrong, and the whole room just goes quiet. Wow, what a powerful reaction. When her son is finally done speaking, his mother doesn't yell. She's not angry. Her very first thought is about the incredible burden he must have been carrying all that time. She repeats 12 years, not to measure the lie, but to measure his pain.
And this, from the father whose sacrifice started this whole thing, this might be the most powerful line in the whole story. He just cuts through all the layers of performance and gets right to the one thing that ever actually mattered. It was never about the job title or the prestige. It was always about honesty. That's all he ever wanted from his son. So, what happens next? What happens when a family's biggest story turns out to be false? Well, it's not a big, loud explosion. It's quiet, it's strange, and it's about everyone learning how to stand on new ground, ground that is finally truly honest.
And this is what their new reality looks like. The brother, he doesn't run away. He stays. And at 35 years old, he decides to actually do it. He enrolls in a program to start the long journey back toward medicine. And his father, in this quiet, beautiful act of love, starts correcting the story with the neighbors, not framing it as a failure, but as his son's courageous new beginning.
And really, this is the main takeaway from the whole thing. The brother thought his lie was a shield, protecting his family from disappointment. But it wasn't a shield. It was a wall that kept them from ever really knowing him, the person who was struggling. He wasn't protecting them. He was just isolating himself from the very love he was so desperate to earn.
And so we end on this thought. Because this story, it isn't just about one family's secret. It's about all of us, right? It's about the stories we carry, the truth we bury, thinking we're protecting ourselves or the people we love. It really makes you ask yourself, what truth in your life is just waiting for a little bit of space to finally be real? You might be surprised to find that space has been there all along.